to improvise. Improvisation. Improvisation means to say or do something without preparation. And it's an interesting thing for me how people can improvise sometimes and in a creative way. Somehow, improvisation is often connected to artists or art in general. To trust your heart, to trust whatever comes to your mind. And that's why I'm talking about this topic today, because it's been in my head for a few days, just the word improvisation, the topic. And of course, it would be silly if I prepared something about improvisation, because I wouldn't do that. I would improvise when I talk about improvisation, because uh, it's more real. It's more. We are putting improvisation to the test today, and I'm putting myself in this test to check to see if I can improvise uh, a full video about improvisation or not, or about another topic. Who knows what I might improvise in the next few minutes, but uh, yeah. So it's interesting because I want to know if it's something that can be created or it's something you are born with. Is it simply that some people are easier for them to improvise and to be creative and to be witty when it comes to fast responses or fast replies, um, or it's something that can be trained in your mind through reading, through maybe playing chess, maybe activating some parts in your brain that lets you improvise better than other people. At the same time, it comes to my mind the improv classes that Michael Scott from The Office talked about a lot, and of course, it's something that's popular in the acting field. Uh, they go to improv classes, and in these classes, it's like a game, the improv game. It's like a scene without papers, without script, and someone does something and someone improvises the response, and somehow they are the only goal they do is keeping the flow going. The only thing they are doing is not stop, is not refusing the idea of others. They they keep saying yes and yes and yes and yes, and so they keep adding ideas, even if they are random, even if they are not really logical. Maybe most of them are actually silly ideas, but sometimes in the middle of these silly ideas, something really funny comes, or something really creative. And it comes to my mind now, the brainstorming thing as well. Brainstorming meetings, for example, when people try to find new ideas about something, new solutions about something, even if they are not really realistic. They just want to keep the flow, the ideas, until some idea gets really creative. And I think that happens a lot when a scientist or something suddenly finds a solution to a problem uh, that existed for a long time, or when a child, maybe someone who is 4 or 5 years ago, just saying random things, one of these random things suddenly starts to be very logical, very creative, and a real good idea, a really good idea. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking about at the moment. And of course, it's not easy to improvise because sometimes improvising feels like just filling the blanks, just saying something instead of being silent. And of course, this is silly because being saying unnecessary things is actually a bad taste. It's not a good thing to just keep talking and talking without having a real idea or a useful idea. But let's say you have a presentation and you somehow, for some reason, didn't prepare for it. And you have two options now to show up and do the presentation from the ideas you have in your mind, even if you didn't prepare them properly, or just be absent. What would you choose? The same goes, of course, in some tests, especially if you are still a student at college or at school. You often go to exams that you didn't study well for, and you start improvising answers that are, you know very well, they are not necessarily true or um, real. You make up ideas, you make up answers, you invent answers, and that can be um, have a solution instead of a zero solution, right? It's better to show up and say or do something if necessary, uh, instead of just not giving any answers because you want to be so perfect with your answers, and at the same time you didn't study at all. So yeah, and when I thought about it, or when I think about it right now, I think we improvise a lot through our lives, even when we don't mean to. We walk in the street and maybe something comes up that lets us improvise. You might see someone whom you didn't see for years, and suddenly you have to make a conversation with that person that wasn't prepared, that wasn't in your plan. You were planning to go to do some shopping, to buy something, and then go home, and then suddenly you spend 1 hour with some person with constant improvising during a conversation. And I think now it's more connected also to communication skills in this uh, example. Maybe people with good communication skills are actually very good at improvising socially. So maybe it's a matter of practice after all. It's a matter of experience. If you are socially experienced with dealing with people, so it's easier for you to improvise, to be witty, to say smart things at the right time. Also, I wonder if that's related to stand-up comedians or funny people in general, when they can find the right moment to say the right thing that makes people laugh. It's often not so easy when you think about it to be spontaneous, to be spontaneously funny and sarcastic when it comes to saying things that lets people laugh. It's not easy at all. So maybe funny people who likes to watch funny things or read funny things or jokes, maybe they have this kind of experience that lets their mind turn some normal sentences other people say into funny replies from their sides. So I don't know. I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering. But I think improvising is so cool, especially for lazy people who don't like to study or make videos based on scripts. Maybe I think it's easier to just say things instead of just reading them from a script or studying them first or memorizing them. So, what do you think?